Hi, it's Julia again. I understand it's been a super long time since I've made a video. Um, and I think the last sentence I said in my last video was that I promised to be more punctual with my videos. So that didn't work out very well. My apologies. Life gets in the way. But, um, so this is my week 10 post gastric bypass RNY surgery update video blog. I recently have been having a lot of trouble with vomiting, and I've talked about this in videos before where I will drink or eat or I was still on the pureed stage, so I would just eat like applesauce or just pureed canned chicken with a little bit of mayo in it. And I would eat just teeny amounts of it, like a tablespoon or two, and which is where I should be. I should be able to eat that with no problem. But it would get stuck. I had talked about after I swallowed, it would go down, and I felt like my pouch rejected it, and it would just come right back up. And I'd have to keep swallowing, and I noticed that drinking liquid to try to make it go down seems like the thing to do, but that would just make my esophagus and my pouch even more full, and just wouldn't allow that in either, so that made it worse every time I tried to sip water. Long story short, I ended up like vomiting a bunch of times, and I recently went into the ER because I had chest pain, and that was an ordeal. They did lots of tests, and the first thing they did was an EKG, and that came back abnormal, and I had done an EKG right before my surgery, which was totally normal. So they were a little concerned and did a whole bunch of other tests. It's CAT scan, x-rays. What else did they do? Stress test, ultrasound, all that stuff. And all of that came back totally normal, which was very reassuring, but confusing as to why I was still having chest pain. And, oh no, I can't remember the name of what they diagnosed me with. I'm gonna look it up and I'll insert it right here. I don't remember. But basically it was the swelling of my heart membrane, the membrane that covers your heart. So it felt like every time my heart beat, it would hurt really bad, and my heart was palpitating, and felt like my pulse was racing, but my blood pressure was actually really low while I was at the hospital. But I ended up getting sick there, and my surgeon got wind of that and said, well, let's bump your monthly appointment up this month, and we did, and he decided it was good for me to get an upper GI endoscopy, so he could take a look to see if my stoma was shut too much. So I went in same week I was in the hospital. Today is a Tuesday, this was last Friday. Went in to get the endoscopy, and he said that I did indeed have a very small opening, not to my pouch, but the one that, I think this is right, I think he called it stenosis, the one that opens up to my small intestine, so the end of my pouch basically was, I think he said like 1.2 millimeters, so it was just this teeny little hole. So that makes total sense as to why I couldn't tolerate a lot of the food and drink that I was consuming, because it all just wouldn't go down and ended up coming back up. And it made me salivate a lot and had this like super nasty, slimy salivation issue that I kept swallowing it, and that's what I ended up throwing up. And it was like hours at a time that I would get sick. So that was awful. So he dilated my stoma, my pouch, with a little balloon, and ended up, I don't know what tools he used, but ended up dilating my stoma too, so that the opening was wider, which is good because now I feel like completely different. I don't have any trouble getting my fluids down, and he's only asked me to stay on a full bariatric liquid diet until November 7th, because he's going to be out of town at a seminar, and he doesn't want anything to go wrong while he's gone, and he doesn't want any other surgeons touching me, so he decided to just keep me on the liquid diet. So I haven't tried food yet, and I miss it. I want to try food. I feel like it would go down great, but I kind of agree that I don't want to push it, and I want to let what he did heal and everything before I go trying food again. Deep breaths. But I miss food a lot, and I'm starting to like get grouchy because I want food. But I'm having my, protein shakes, and I had a little bit of fruit in them, and I have popsicles, and I'm sick of Jello, so I'm not eating Jello. But, the sugar-free liquids and all that, and soup with no chunks in it. So I'll add some stats now to the video now that I'm already 7 and 20 in. So my high weight was 388 in May when I went to go speak with a surgeon. I started off the low carb liver shrinking diet early. Usually you have to do it about 30 days before your surgery. I did it about 2 months before my surgery. I did it in like mid-June. I started. So from mid-June to my surgery day, which was August 16th, I had lost a lot of weight. So my surgery weight was 355. And today, about 2.5 months out, I am 300 on the dot today at the doctor's. So I will be celebrating soon when I am under 300 pounds. It's going to be awesome. It's been a long time since I've been under 300 pounds. And he called me a superstar. He said that he was amazed that I even lasted 2 months with the closure that had happened in my stoma. And basically he said it healed itself like that. And that happens sometimes. And sometimes you even need to do 2 dilations, not just one, because it'll heal again. And that's what he's a little worried about. So that's why he's making me stay on the liquid diet. Ho-hum. But I'm definitely starting to feel the weight loss. I can see it a little more in my figure, and I have to buy new wardrobe because everything that I own is huge on me, and I'm trying not to buy much at all because obviously it's going to keep going down and I'll have to buy more again. So I'm just trying to keep it simple, and I'm not, that's not one of my favorite things to do is clothes shopping anyway. So looking forward to Halloween, but again, I can't have any of the candy or cookies or any treats or anything like that. So that'll be a little rough, but I've come this far. I can make it. I can do it. I was going to do before and after pictures, but I haven't even really looked much into it. I've just been so busy in and out of the hospital and working and getting new clients and my son. So I will do that, I promise. I just wanted to give a quick little update this time because it's been a long time. So there you go. This is my 10-week update. I will do another video soon with some before and after, and I want to get a hold of my measurements too. They took measurements of my body before I did surgery, but she couldn't find them today, but she's pretty sure they're in my file. So I'm gonna do that'll be my next video, and I'll talk about my measurements and do before and after picture. Okay, happy Halloween, everybody. Bye.